Hey, good afternoon, Mountain House. This is Brian Harrison with Mountain House Matters, coming to you live from the Zaytech Studios, the former CSD boardroom right here in Mountain House. I'm here with Khalid Saleh at the board, working the magic for us. We wanted to come bring to you the updated election results. We got a big drop the other night. Many of you may have seen it, but we're looking at not complete numbers, but nearly complete numbers based on what the apparent vote count is. Currently, in the whole county, San Joaquin County has a little bit better than what looked like might happen on the voter turnout. They're at 33% of the registered voters in the county have ballots have been counted, and there are still some to be counted, but not that many. There's maybe 10,000 left to count in the whole county, which probably means a few hundred for Mountain House. So at this point, our election is pretty well determined. The voter turnout for Measure D, Mountain House is becoming a city. We're still at over 90%, 91% approval rating, 91? No, almost 90.86% approval rating on the Measure D for Mountain House to become a city. So congratulations, voters in Mountain House. We're taking the steps. The next steps will be that the staff, led by Steve Pinkerton, the general manager, who will become the city manager, they're going to do a series of training sessions once the vote is certified. The election won't actually be certified until April 2nd. So we do have a little bit of time, but based on the count of the votes that are in and what's left to count, the races are pretty well determined at this point. So Mountain House will become a city. They will begin training sessions, I think in April, for the new council members and the mayor. It's a pretty clear and decisive victory for Andy Sue to become the very first mayor of the city of Mountain House. I think a long-held dream of his to do that. He came in with 63% of the vote. Our last numbers had him with, I think it was 1,250 or 1,247 votes or something in that range. I don't have it in front of me. He now has 2,700. So the number of votes that dropped on the last update was significant. So he's now with that range, there's really no catching him. He's got 63% of the vote and 2,703 votes out of, it looks like we have about 40% turnout, which is much better than we thought. It was looking like we were going to be lucky to get 30% of the total turnout. So for a primary election, that's really good numbers. And it looks like we're above where the county is overall, which is only right because we're voting on becoming a city and we're voting for a new city council. So our mayor will be Andy Sue. Our 4 council members, it's pretty well determined now. We had the 4th place was a tight race, but these latest numbers kind of opened that up a little bit. So it's pretty well determined. Our council members will be in the order they received. Matt Disco at 21.2% of the vote. Dan Harrison got 16.72, Bernice Tingle with 15.64, and Ronna Green at 12.88% of the vote. These aren't final numbers, but it's pretty close. There's not that much more to count. And since we started at the very early numbers, the trending has been consistent. So it looks like that's going to be where we are, minus something dramatic happening at the end. But I think it's safe enough to say we can do that, that these are going to be our council members. So the way this is going to work is council members and the mayor get 4-year terms. Oh, also Measure E was whether to vote at large in future elections or go to a by district or from district format. At large is considerably far ahead, and it's pretty well determined now. So we'll be an at-large district. There's 43.38% of the votes counted are at large versus the next one is by district, and that's just under 32%. So there's no catching it. It'll be at large. So the way this will work is the mayor will get a 4-year term, and even if we went by district, the mayor was going to remain at large And the 4 council members are based on 4-year terms. However, this first initial setting will be 4 years for the top 2 vote getters. So Matt Disco and Dan Harrison will get a 4-year term each. And then Bernice Tingle and Ronna Green will have 2-year terms and have to run for re-election in 2026. So that then every term will be 4 years beyond that. It'll just be offset so that you can keep not having to vote for the whole board every time or the whole council. It's going to be an adventure remembering to call it a council and not a board for me and probably a lot of us. In other races, Robert Rickman, our county supervisor in the 5th district, won handily. He's at 53.37% of the vote. And in the assembly race, Rhodesia Ransom is well ahead at 41.91%. She will have, because she's not over 50% though, she'll have to run against Republican Denise Aguilar Mendez, who's at 37% of the vote. And in the state Senate race, that's not what I was looking at. Excuse me, in the congressional district race, Josh Harder is over 50% as well. So he won't have to do a November runoff assuming he stays at 50%. So there are still some votes to count. So there's a possibility that he won't be at 50%, but he will win that race. The next closest is Kevin Lincoln at 29%, so almost 30%. So looks like Josh Harder is in continuing as our congressional representative. And the state Senate race I don't have here because I didn't include it in my customize. Let me go back to that. The bottom line is it's going to be former Congressman Jerry McNerney running against the Republican in the race in November, I believe is where we are. I'm not finding that. Do you have that over there, Khalid?
While I pull that up.
Anyway, that's where we are. Sorry for the dead silence time. So the race is pretty well determined. There are some votes left to be counted. There should be an update again later tonight, and that might be the balance of it, or close to it. And we will give you an update as soon as we can on that as well.
There's what's on the screen right now.
And there you go. And for the city of Mountain House, our mayor is Andy Sue, and you can see our 4 council members, Matt Disco, Dan Harrison, Bernice Tingle, and Ronna Green. There was a Community Services District Board meeting the other night, Wednesday night, and even then, the results were noted, and everybody was congratulated. Current board member who did not run for council, Manny Moreno, congratulated everybody who threw their name in the hat, is what he said, and stepped up to run for office. It takes some guts to do that, and he noted that he really appreciated everybody that stepped up. So I concur with that. It's not an easy thing to do, to put yourself out there, even on a local community level, to be under the scrutiny of people, and hopefully everything will be able to settle beyond the contentions that went on, I guess we'll say. And we can move forward as a new city. So as of July 1st, Mountain House will become an official city. The council will have a year to transition. The council and the staff will have a year to transition from being a community services district with the county to become full-fledged city. But as of July 1st, we will be a city, and I believe the plan is to do a big to-do party on 4th of July to celebrate our independence as Matt Disco said the other night, as the president of the board. He said to celebrate our independence from the county. So it's a little different than the original intent. But anyway, that's your election result update. We'd like to move on, keep this kind of brief today. We have some clips from the grand reopening of Central Park that happened on Wednesday afternoon this week. The CSD staff came out in droves. They apparently had some training meetings going on and stuff too. So they had a lot of their people there. So they came out, and Steve Pinkerton introduced the park and kind of gave a little background before the ribbon cutting.
And so we're in that position where we're still doing lots of new and shiny things, but we also have lots of things that have been getting an incredible amount of use over the last decade or so. And so we got to the point where we knew that here in Central Park, given all the activities going on, that we needed to update our equipment. And we were lucky enough to get a significant grant from the state of California to help us leverage our local dollars, which also get set aside, because not only do we have funds for new equipment, but we of course also make sure that we set enough money for replacing our equipment as well. And so between our equipment fund and the ability to access dollars from the state of California, we have this beautiful new state-of-the-art playground here. So I didn't know if Matt, if you wanted to say anything before we had our VIPs get up, our other VIPs up here. All right.
Hey, good afternoon. Thank you all for coming out. It's a great day here at Central Park because, as we know, many of our parks are in need of revitalization, and it's great to be able to see a park like this, which is fully accessible for all abilities, to finally break ground here in town. So this is kind of the flagship of what's to come for other parks in the future, so that everyone can play together with their friends regardless of their abilities. So thank you to the fellow board members and for staff for preparing such a great vendor and facility, and thank you all for coming out. Thank you.
Vice President Tingle or Member Moreno, do you want to say anything? Or are we good?
I actually had another clip for you, I think. We had some other video that we'll probably come back and show you at another time. Supervisor Rickman was there, and representative from Josh Harder's office was there to present certificates of appreciation for the Community Services District in being able to put the park together. If we can show the clips from just of the playground area, that'd be great. We appreciate you guys tuning in. This is a whole new adventure for us to put this together. We're looking into possibly turning it into a podcast format as well. And we will have some guests in future episodes, different things going on. But back to this park, the new playground, if you haven't been over there yet, it's all open, and it's a really pretty fantastic setup. The kids were having a good time. They had face painting going on there. They started looking at a balloon animal shaper guy. There you go. There's your face painting. So it was a fun event for the whole family. One of the things that Mr. Pinkerton stated too was that there were grant funds that came out of that the state provided that helped pay for this. So it's not just our tax dollars that are covering that, which is kind of a great thing. Nice bonus. In addition to this area that's nearest the fountain area at Central Park, over by the picnic ground, they put that new AstroTurf underfooting. It's all nicely padded and everything. They put that under the one structure that's immediately behind the picnic area. The structure is still there because it's a good climbing structure. And over where they had that other piece that would break all the time, they put in, also with that same kind of ground cover, they put in a nice workout kind of facility, machine area. Not sure what you call that, but it should be really nice. And it's over there, but right next to the basketball court. So part of what they were looking at is that it would facilitate an opportunity for people waiting to get on the court to be able to go, work out a little bit. So good thing. The other item that we wanted to cover just briefly here before we call this short session to rest is the community garage sales are coming up April 20th and 21st next month. It'll be one weekend throughout town. So if last year and the year before was any gauge, we had about 150 garage sales in the weekend. Register now. You can register. There's a link at the top of the Facebook page, the Mountain House Matters Facebook page, or if you go to mountainhousematters.com or mhmatters.net, we'll take you there. Our website has the registration form link as well. You'll give us your information, and you can list in there your major items that you want to sell. So people going to the garage sales will be able to not only find you on the map, but there will be a list of what your main items are that you're selling to attract them to your sale. There's some rules that are part of the registration process. You can look through that as you set up your sale. You will do every garage sale is at your own home. So you're not having to pick up your stuff and go anywhere. Just set up your garage sale like you would if you were just having a garage sale. Only there will be garage sales all over the place. You are allowed to do some signage, but you have to take it down at the end of the day at, I believe, 5 o'clock. The sale is going to be from 7 a.m. to noon. And if you want to go longer, you can, but that's our official time. My suggestion is be ready to open your door and sell by 7 o'clock in the morning, because people that are into garage selling tend to like to get there early and beat out the competition. Got to beat that competition. And I think that's all we have for you today. There's the information. You can just, and at the top of the page, I have it pinned up at the top of the Facebook page, the link. There's also a link to some helpful tips on how to prepare for your garage sale. So check that out. See what you can do. We're going to plan on coming back to you probably before noon tomorrow morning and give you a little bit more update, because there is going to be an election update tonight that shouldn't change any results, but it'll give us a better, clearer picture of where it all stands. So,
Yeah, let me see if I have any questions from the audience here, from online. If you have any questions, please leave it in the comment section. Right now, I don't see any questions. Let's see if anything comes to my mind here, Brian.
Clee, do you have any questions?
Yeah, let me take a look here. Central Park. So right now, as you mentioned, it's officially opened.
Yes, sir.
So you mentioned it's more, would you say it's more family friendly? What's the main difference that you saw when you visited?
The new park is just really great structures. There's even a little hill. What I found kind of funny the other day was there's this little hillside part they have on the left side part when you're looking toward the fountain, that the kids were just rolling. There were kids rolling and sliding off this hill. They got all these fancy toys and they're just sliding off the hill. That was pretty funny. But additionally, right around that area, there are really musical pieces. So there's a xylophone and there's some drums and there's different things that the kids can play with that are very musical. So it'll be a lot of fun. And then the other side has a nice size slide to it.
Is that the hill you're referring to right there, Brian?
Right there. There's the little hill. You see there's a little kid rolling off the hill.
I can see him.
There were a bunch of kids doing that. It was kind of fun. So, and the ground cover is soft and durable, and the old ground cover was worn out, and they had toys on there that were dated, and now they've got state-of-the-art stuff that I think the kids are going to love. So it is very family friendly. It's very there are areas for the young kids and the little bit older kids. So one mom was standing in the middle, and she said, "This is great because I can watch my little over here and my older one over here." And, they both get to do their thing. So,
yeah, one question that comes to mind, Brian, is the water area of the park. Do you know what days and months of the year it's open, and what time it closes, what time it opens?
That's a really good question. There is a real schedule for that on the CSD website. The fountain, I believe, opens April 1st, if I'm not mistaken. It won't have the full length hours. As they get toward the summertime, it becomes more continuous. Let me see if it's on the schedule. Event calendar might be.
And if people want to rent it out, is that included with it, or is that separate? That water fountain.
I think the water fountain is typically just there for the whole community. That's
Okay.
open, but people can rent out the picnic area right adjacent to it. Somebody had posted about that yesterday. Also, you know what? I was going to plan to do this. I didn't send you that information, but there's a new app that you can go to that has a lot of this information, and maybe we'll delve more into that in our next episode or sometime soon. It's the My Mountain House app. And there's a lot of information you can find in there, and you can actually reserve a facility from that app space, which is sure to be much simpler than it's been on the website. I think they're working to improve the website, but it up until recently, it was very difficult to find the forms to rent the facilities.
What is that website called? MyMountainHouse.com?
It's an app. So if you go download an app from the Apple App Store or the Android one, it's called My Mountain House. And we'll have some more information on that.
Actually,
coming
I was able to pull it up. Let me go ahead.
Oh, great.
Let me go ahead and share with the audience here, viewers online, so they can see what it looks like. Let me go there. Okay.
Looks like you can actually, well, you can get to the district website from there. You can see the board of directors. You can pay your bill for your water bill and such, I guess, and you can reserve a facility through the app. So I'm sure they're going to be adding more to it as they go to.
Yeah, do you see it on the screen there? It's about to show up right now. I did a search for it on Google. I typed in My Mountain House iOS app, and it came up there.
There you go.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah. Okay. So what's the difference between this app and the other one called, I believe it was called Go something?
There's a Go Request app. So if you see an issue in town where there's like water spewing somewhere or trees down or something like that, there's a Go Request app that you can, if you have it on your phone, you can just submit a Go Request claim that the district will get and respond to at their earliest availability. One of the new powers that the city will have that the CSD did not, I guess we did, the animal control, but we're going to have more direct control of animal control. They'll have to put something in place. So if there are, how shall I say it? If there's roadkill out there that needs to be cleaned up, you'd be able to do a Go Request for that. You can do that now, but they have to go through the county animal control at this point. Whether they're going to contract with them to continue those services or bring something local, I think is yet to be determined. So that might be something the council has to decide once we launch in July. More questions?
No questions for today. Yeah, I think that pretty much wraps it up for number 5.
So go download the My Mountain House app, and we'll have more information as we learn about it some more too. But Khalid, do you have anything else?
No, I don't see anything else. That's all I can see. I think we covered everything for today. And then tomorrow, hopefully we'll come back live again before noon, and we'll give you some more updates. Hey, Brian?
Indeed. Yeah, that sounds great. We appreciate you taking the time with us today. We look forward to bringing you more. This is Mountain House Matters at the Zaytech Academy. Wishing you a happy Friday and a good weekend. Talk to you soon.